What is the ingredient, the principal ingredient of joy? Look at the planet. Is it not true that every human soul is in search of it? But look where they are looking. And we, if we analyze our soul, are looking for something. The next thrill. And yet, is it not true that we miss the point? For joy has one main ingredient, without which it just will not come. It's peace, and that is peace of heart. The person who has many things is dependent on those many things, but he's not at peace. The person who has just hurt somebody else badly may have had the immediate apparent joy of victory, but he's not at peace. The person who has caused pain is also secretly in pain. All he can do is escape. Life, my friends, is made of pain. Shortly before he died, George Harrison was asked why the Beatles went on to take drugs. And he honestly and frankly said, "The soul is in pain." Remember, he was a millionaire and world famous. The soul is in pain. And it tries to numb the pain. Those were his words, numb the pain. The Lord knows it, and the Lord has given us a means of his own making to numb the pain for each other, and also indirectly for ourselves. It's by creating a simple joy which makes all the difference. It's just what he's planted himself in our heart, the sense of humour. I remember when I was 17, on the day before my confirmation, I went to confession in the cathedral, making whatever it was as an accusation and saying tomorrow I was going to be confirmed. And the good priest in the box said, "Congratulations on your confirmation tomorrow. Ask the Holy Spirit for the gift of a sense of humour." And I've long pondered on the wisdom of that bit of advice. Now, it applies equally in a family and in a monastery, because the dynamics sometimes are not that dissimilar. It's being always with the same people. One has a choice, my friends. It applies to each of us as we go through the day. Will this day be an emission of joy, and therefore of peace, or of something else? Now, those days add up. At the end of our life, we will be examined on charity. And one essence of charity is creating joy in our day. Right now, hic et nunc. For that to happen, we have to learn one trick: to let things go. And that's why much peace goes out of the window when it did not have to. Think therefore before reacting. Think therefore before taking up an issue which perhaps you don't have to. I remember being greatly struck in early days when coming to the Catholic Church by one saint, Philip Nero. He was an extraordinary mixture of extremes. They thought at one point he was dying. They opened the curtains of his bed to give him the last sacraments. And what was their surprise when they found him levitating about a foot above his bed. And he was crying out to the Madonna. That was the quality of this mystic. He was also known on one occasion to have had a very strange experience. A strange fire came physically into his being. His heart became bigger. He was always burning physically until he died. And he exuded that fire. And in him we find the perfect combination of the fire being communicated. What will I communicate today? Hurt? Suffering? Or, now not necessarily complicated joy, but just that bit which makes the difference for somebody else. Now, this fire of love came through also in the way he handled people in the sacraments. One day, a young nobleman came to him and was hiding his sins. Immediately he knew it, but he didn't in any way offend. He gave him to understand that he knew what he was concealing. And he went close to him, notice, put his head against his heart, and with that gesture he was able to convey the love of God and open his chilly soul. I remember in monastic days how it was done. It was made of tales of the unexpected. We would add little bits to our notes, because we had to talk in notes. We would give little surprises to each other. But then it could actually come into real pranks, but it made the difference. I know on the grapevine that was pretty universal in other communities and even in seminaries, Catholic and Protestant. One day in Wales, in Aberystwyth, the big Presbyterian seminary there was full of young Welshmen, the great preachers of tomorrow. And in those days, no one would drink, certainly a minister. It was teetotal. And so one of the students, the future great preachers of Wales, who's since appeared in print 50 years later, went about midnight to the superior when he was fast asleep, and with a bucket of paint started to paint footprints going in a perfect line from the principal's office down the stairs, across the street to the local pub, in a straight line, notice. And then he proceeded at midnight to paint another series of footprints with the same paint making a zigzag all the way back from the pub to the principal's bedroom. The following morning, there was an almighty bust-up. Who done it? And it was the best kept secret for 50 years and only just appeared in print. Okay, a bit expensive. But my friends, think of these things before you cause pain today. It's simple, but only here once. Peace is the most precious thing we have on earth. Don't lose it for the sake of something.